double the vigilance and determination on the part of a global coalition to make sure that they are degraded and ultimately defeated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he has to use that word degraded and ultimately defeated. He wants no part of defeating ISIS. You ask him why. Joining us now is Steve Emerson, terror expert, founder of the Investigative Project on Terrorism, and author of Jihad Incorporated, a guide to militant Islam in the U.S. Stephen, of course, the horrific video, another in a series of horrific videos. This one, a whole different story. Allegedly, it took place a few days or a week after this pilot from Jordan, Moaz al-Kazbeh, was captured. They burned him to death in a cage. What are they trying to accomplish here by... I mean, they first they wanted that woman back from Jordan, the would-be suicide bomber. Jordan said, "Show me proof the pilot's alive." Of course, they couldn't. So what are they doing here, ISIS?
Well, I mean, look, it's obviously that they're playing to a Western audience. They know that every single time they do something horrific, decapitations seem to have become too normal. That's become the new normal. So now burning alive has become the new normal now, the new normal. I mean, it's so horrific. I mean, it so offends our sensitivities and sensibilities that we're just shocked beyond belief. I mean, decapitations were horrific enough when we first saw them, but now this is, and now we've gotten used to them. So this is something else. I did notice in some of the analyses that they did refer to some of radical Islamic scholars in the past, like Ibn Taymiyyah, who talked about desecration. And I did speak to an Islamic scholar recently that there have been burnings of infidels or apostates in Pakistan and elsewhere in recent years. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it's common, but I wouldn't say that it's unusual in terms of happening in Islamic countries. In terms of desecration. Desecration is the term that was used by Ibn Taymiyyah, an Islamic, quote, scholar who was very radical, who, by the way, there's a backstory on him, which I'll tell you later, but nevertheless, he lived around 800 years ago, I believe, and he preached jihad way before Osama bin Laden and talked about killing, ad infinitum.
Right.
But nevertheless, he talked about desecration. Desecration was interpreted as mutilation. Mutilation was interpreted in many different ways, anywhere from literally pulling the limbs out to burning bodies. Now, I've been trying to find out in historical liturgy whether that was done. It was done in the Middle Ages, of course, in Christendom, when they burnt, in New England they burnt witches, of course.
Right.
So it's not unusual to have that done. But here, in this case, one, we don't know exactly when it was done. It could have been done in early January. It could have been done very recently. You're right that it totally negated and may have actually preceded the whole issue of negotiations,
right,
which would have made that whole negotiation strategy to be totally cynical and to have been a hoax. Having said that, they're playing the West like a violin. They've totally wrapped up, they've lost some ground in Iraq. There's no doubt about that. But they've gained it up this way. Now, the danger for them, of course, is that it's just going to redouble the efforts of the West, but I doubt that, frankly.
What about Jordan, Steve? What about Jordan's reaction?
Jordan is going to retreat.
They're going to retreat.
Yeah, because look, you have to understand the way Jordan is constituted. One, the southern half of Jordan is basically Al-Qaeda sympathizers or activists.
Right.
Okay? You go there, you take your life in your hands. I wouldn't suggest Americans go there. The bedrock of King Abdullah's supporters are the Bedouin tribes, his loyalists. He's safe there, but that's in the northern part of Jordan. Okay, but in terms of the disgruntlement and the support for Bin Laden, the support for ISIS, massive amounts in the south, and in the center part of the country. There's no doubt about it.
So
If
Steve,
you were
we only got 30 seconds. So you don't think they're going to kill the female would-be terrorist, would-be suicide bomber that they wanted to trade for, right?
Absolutely not.
All right, Stephen.
Absolutely not.
Great talking to you. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
You're very
Stephen
welcome.
Emerson, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, the Closing Bell Report with Newsmax Deputy Financial Editor Rob Williams.